have the football playing members here to the Illinois High School Association. Welcome to tonight's Class 3A football game between Poplar Grove, North Boone, and Princeton High School. IHSA 1 series of the Crown 8 champion Thanksgiving weekend at Husky Stadium on the campus of Vandermoon University. The championship game for Class 3A will play Friday, November 26th at Husky Stadium with the defense of Vandermoon. The Albert should have saved us from the atmosphere of the Wisconsin
Princeton Tiger playoff football is on the air tonight from Bryant Field on the campus of Princeton High School. It's the Tigers facing the North Boone Vikings. I'm Norm Vandermoon, joined by Tiger basketball coach Jason Smith. Steve Morton, Princeton's technology advisor, is our producer-director, and he is assisted by Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson as our crew is all set to bring you these high school football headlines as they are being made. We want to thank our sponsors of Tiger Playoff Football on Tiger Central Live, and they include Midland Bank, Michlig Energy, Princeton Redi Crete, Becks, and Central Bank. We thank you for tuning in, and Schmitty, it's playoff season, and in some ways a new season for Princeton and North Boone.
Yeah, it sure is. Everybody in the state of Illinois 0-0 at this point now, Norm, with week one of the playoffs going on. It's going to be a good contest. Might be a sloppy contest as you see the elements that they're braving out there. Raining, windy. So we'll see what kind of factor that brings into tonight's contest, as North Boone likes to throw the ball and the Tigers like to mix it up with the pass and the run. So it should be an interesting contest.
And if you wouldn't mind sharing the notes on the Princeton Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers are 8-1, coached by Ryan Pearson, with their enrollment of 548 kids in the school. Week one, the Tigers beat Rock Ridge 48-7. Turnaround week two, beating Orion 45-7, and then beating Hall 56-20 in week three. Week four, lost to Kewanee 49-21, and then week five, bounced back to beat Newman 41-0. Beat St. Bede 47-20, beat Bureau Valley 49-20, and to wrap up the season, beat Monmouth Roseville Titans 55-14. Princeton has outscored their opponents 390 to 137 per game. That's a 43-15 score if you calculate it at home. Stats for the Tigers: Tegan Davis leading the way with 1,440 yards passing in the air with 17 touchdowns. Receiving those passing yardage is Bennett Searns with 23 catches for 463 yards with 4 touchdowns. Matt Lucas with 23 receptions for 436 yards and 4 touchdowns. On the ground, leading the way is Tegan Davis, again, 824 yards on the ground with 14 touchdowns. And Augie Christensen with 704 yards rushing on the ground with 3 touchdowns. And look to see a lot of Augie more than often tonight's contest, that's for sure.
All right, and thank you for that wrap-up. We'll give you Poplar Grove in a moment, but our national anthem's coming up in just a few seconds. We will tell you about other playoff games tonight. They include LaSalle Peru at Morris, Anawan Weathersfield at Abington. We have Monmouth Roseville at IC Catholic, Princeville at Ottawa Marquette, Chicago Hope at St. Bede, and Galena is at Forreston. Again, the conditions here tonight, less than ideal. But, all right, we're going to step back for a minute as we are ready for our national anthem. And you no doubt noticed that the band not able to perform tonight due to the wet conditions. As far as our notes on Poplar Grove, which is also North Boone, the Vikings, they are 5-4, coached by Ryan Kelly. Their enrollment 466, members of the Big Northern Conference. They opened up with a win over Rockford Lutheran, 35-0, lost to Dixon, 50-7, lost to Genoa Kingston, 28-14, beat Rockford Christian, an 0-9 team, 49-6, lost to Byron, 49-7, lost to Stillman Valley, maybe one of their better games though. Stillman Valley 7-2, and that score was Stillman Valley 21 and North Boone 13. And then 3 wins to finish out the year for North Boone, 31-22 over Rock Falls, 47-10 over Winnebago, 41-14 over Oregon. Overall, the Vikings scored 244 points, gave up 200. That figures out to a 27-22 score. Poplar Grove is located 18 miles northeast of Rockford, population 5,100. As you see the Tigers taking the field, Poplar Grove, for a grove of poplar trees near the original town site. Okay, just a little more background on Poplar Grove. That town suffered a tornado January 7th, 2008 on a mid 60-degree day on January 7th, 2008. Major damage to some of the businesses there and one serious injury. North Boone is a combination of the towns of Poplar Grove and Capron, population 1,376. Schmitty mentioned it. They like to throw the ball. Quarterback Charles Alderman has 1,661 yards, 25 touchdowns. Wide receiver Will Dutch, 82 catches, 1,151 yards, and 15 touchdowns. And the last time these two met, they actually met in the 2019 playoffs. Princeton won by a score of 61-26.
It doesn't get any better than playoff football, Norm.
No,
I'm pretty fired up right now.
We also want to give a shout-out to Ryan Songeroth, who loaned us some equipment that's going to enable us to have extra instant replays. And as always, thanks to the Princeton Public School Foundation for all the equipment they have helped us get for this broadcast. We thank you so much for tuning in, and Princeton kicking off. And it's a deep kick. And here come the Vikings as they get it out to about the 20-yard line.
Brady Byers there on the tackle along with Andrew Peacock. So good kickoff by Williams there to pin them back down to the 10, but a good return by the North Boone at the 30, where they'll be taking over on downs for 1st and 10, starting right away.
And that is Will Dutch on the return, the outstanding wide receiver. We also want to welcome in those of you in the North Boone territory. We appreciate having you on board very much, wherever you might be. I'm speculating, Schmitty, we probably have Bureau Valley and Hall and all around the area. So welcome indeed to our broadcast. Shotgun formation, and Ackerman to throw, and his pass is incomplete. That was intended for Chris Dutch.
Yeah, that was just a little overthrown there, and Compton having decent coverage there, but Dutch had a little one step in front of Compton. Very fortunate there that he did not catch the ball there, but good play all the way around.
Yeah, it's rainy, it's windy, but didn't appear to bother quarterback Chandler Ackerman one bit. 2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Vikings. Ackerman takes the shotgun snap. He's under heavy pressure, and he is going to be sacked.
Vicarious there. Drew Harp was there. Payne Miller was there. You could name them all right there. Williams as well. I think that's a key. You cannot let Alderman sit back there and pick you apart. You're going to have to pressure the quarterback. I think the front line can do that, and right there was a good example of it as they sacked the quarterback for about a 4-yard loss.
So not the situation that North Boone wants to be in. Chandler Alderman once again in the shotgun. He's under heavy pressure once again. It's a screen pass, and this is complete. And big yardage. It's a first down. Chris Dutch getting it out to midfield.
Yeah, as you can see right there, the line just blocks for a second, let the lineman get through. Good wall set up ahead of him as Dutch just did all the rest, as there was a nice wall. Teagan there to stop him, but Cy Hockey there to clean him up. So good play by North Boone. Tigers got to be aware of that on third down in long situations that they could be capable of throwing a screen pass.
So the ball right at midfield, 10:30 to go, first period, no score. Alderman takes the shotgun snap, and the lefty lets it go, and his pass is incomplete. That one intended for Will Dutch. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, there's going to be footing issues, I think, all night long, and there was one right there as Will Dutch just lost his footing. Alderman overthrew him because Dutch fell down. So 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings of North Boone, and Tigers got to get pressure on Alderman.
Big shout out. We mention our guys all the time, Steve Morton, Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson. But Steve Gray is up on the roof. There is no cover. There's lots of wind. There's rain. So kudos to him. This time the quarterback, Alderman, calls his own number. He's got a first down and more. And we do have a flag back by the original line of scrimmage, so we'll see what this is all about.
I think he's going to call him back here.
A huge gain, but apparently for not. Holding against North Boone.
Yeah, that's a big hold there. I mean, there's probably a reason why that was a successful quarterback draw there, but that was a well-needed penalty for the Tigers. Hey, just for the record, just for the record, Norm, I did run one lap tonight before the game. One lap. I was winded. I stopped after one. It was rainy. It was tough to run in. Elements were, you saw them. I mean, the elements were tough to run in, so I just stopped after one. I'll maybe get back at it tomorrow.
All right. I'm sure you will. It's about 6 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. 2nd down and 18 from the Viking 42-yard line. Empty backfield. Alderman awaits the shotgun snap. Good blocking by his line, and his pass is caught. That's Will Dutch, and he'll get it back to what was the original line of scrimmage on first down near midfield. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
So one thing what that screen did was made the linemen not be more as aggressive as they once were, right? It kind of slowed them down. So that screen pass not only was successful that way, but it also slows down the lineman from rushing the quarterback thinking that it's going to be a screen pass. So just got to trust your teammates out there and know that everybody's going to be in the right position to fill their gaps.
Yeah, excellent point by Jason Smith, as he's done all year long. All right, so 3rd and 10 from the 50. Once again, an empty backfield. Tigers are going to blitz. Alderman gets rid of it. It's intended for Will Dutch, and he hauls it in along the sideline. And that'll take it down to the 31-yard line.
Man, that's a tough catch right there by Will Dutch. Don't know if he got his feet in, but the referees say yes, he did, and comes up with a nice catch. Big first down for the North Boone Vikings, and the Tigers are on their heels, so to speak.
I was kind of watching that, Schmitty. He was in. That was a good call by the ref. And 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line of Princeton. So North Boone having success here on their opening drive. Alderman calls his own number. Not this time, as he is hit for a small loss.
You know who? Drew Harp there to clean it up right there for about a 1-yard loss, but Payne Miller got in there, just didn't have his head up if he gets in there with his head up, he might bring the quarterback down for about 3 or 4 yard loss. Nonetheless, Drew Harp read it and was there for the tackle.
Second down and 11 from the 33 of Princeton. Being behind the chains really hasn't affected North Boone. They've been able to overcome so far. And now Alderman to throw quickly to Will Dutch, and Dutch makes a nice move, gets down to about the 23-yard line.
Just a little dinking and Dutching, I guess you would say, right?
Yeah.
Right there. But nonetheless, a good gain, about 9 on the play to bring in third down and 2, a long 2 we'll call it.
Now this time, Alderman does have a running back to his immediate right. Nonetheless, he's throwing and he has a man. It is complete. That is Chris Dutch, and that should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, it is. And it almost was like I wouldn't call it quite a slant route, but it was more like an arrow route kind of. But nonetheless, first down for the Vikings, and Tigers gotta adjust a little bit on the fly here, as you don't know what they're going to come out with. They'll probably come out with something new, which they probably have, and so we'll see how the Tigers adjust here after this series.
First and 10 at the 18 for North Boone. They are the Vikings, but they don't have purple uniforms. They have green and white. And now a stoppage in play and a timeout taken by North Boone. Well, it gives us a chance, Schmitty, to make a very special announcement that's made a lot of people very happy. We have a new life on this earth. Quimby Gonagum Bosnick was born Monday, October 25th. And I know Tiffany and Abby are watching tonight. Our congratulations. And wow, how wonderful, huh, Schmitty?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt that Quimby Marie will be loved, and loved a lot, in bunches, from a whole different varieties of families, that's for sure. She'll be well loved. So congratulations to you two. Well deserved. We're happy for you.
Hi, Quimby. So also at halftime, Andy Puck, Princeton volleyball coach, will be up here. But back to action. First and 10 at the Tiger 18 for the Vikings. Late pitch by Ackerman, and the Tigers stuffed this for a loss. That was Chris Dutch on the carry.
Ian Compton read that perfectly, got off the block, and did a nice job of wrapping up and tackling for about a 3-yard loss. Just what the Tigers needed at that point in time. Not to mention, hey, the regional champions of the Lady Tigresses last night pulling it off at the volleyball.
Yeah, I believe a win over Knoxville.
Correct.
So
very impressive. I went and watched last night.
All right.
The Bills are very, very good.
Second down and 13 from the 21 of Princeton. Alderman looks to throw, has time, and oh my goodness, look at how open Will Dutch is. And he gets near the 10-yard line. And Schmitty, I don't know. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it was like a zone coverage. He kind of stood back about the line of scrimmage, Norm. He really wasn't running a route, so it was almost like the safety outlet for Alderman, and I don't think the Tigers really paid much attention to him. He actually gained, well, I don't know, roughly about 10 yards on the play, and we'll call it third down and 3 from the 11-yard line.
But this is a wide receiver that accumulated 1,151 yards during the regular season, so he merits close attention indeed. Spirited student section behind the end zone. And now we have a stoppage in play and yet another timeout for North Boone.
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't like their personnel grouping or whatnot out there, but yeah, that's their second timeout in this first half. And, you know, it's okay to use them up in the first half, but the second half, you might want to hang on to those a little bit.
Absolutely. We'll tell you a little bit more about some area playoff games in 7A. These games are all being played tonight, and the second name that I'll say will be the favorite, the higher seed. Libertyville at Pekin, Hampshire at Moline, Blue Island at Normal. In 6A is Springfield at Rock Island, Normal West at Washington. In 5A, LaSalle Peru at Morris. And then these games are tomorrow. Morgan Park at Peoria High, Dunlop at Muscatoo, Metamora at Marion, Chicago St. Patrick at Sterling. 3rd down and 3. Alderman being chased. Looks to throw. Instead, he's going to tuck and run. He is, but I believe he's going to be hit short of the first down marker.
Yeah, Drew Harp was on a mission tracking him down, and that was all hustle by Drew as Alderman was out running all the linemen, but Drew Harp came out of nowhere just chasing him down and made down maybe a half-yard gain to bring it 4th down and 2. A big 4th down here for both teams. See if the Tigers can make a stop right here.
And it wouldn't surprise me if the Vikings, even with 4th and 2, will go to the air. We'll see.
Well, they haven't really run the ball yet, really, other than that one pitch and a quarterback draw here or there.
Here we go. Big play. 4th down and 2 from the 10-yard line. Alderman looks to throw. He's hit as he throws. And it's ruled an incomplete pass.
Big 77 Marcellus there with the interruption. And it's 1st down and 10 Tigers. And what a play at the right time. Big moment. Big time players make big time plays, Norm.
They do indeed. Well said. Well, we were right. They were planning on throwing the ball at least.
Watch this, Norma, as you view at home, basically in the shotgun formation, and Carey is just coming out of nowhere and making the hit, and he's all amped up. Great job by 77.
1st and 10 Tigers at their 10-yard line. Tegan Davis awaits the snap. He has it, and the Tigers are going to keep it on the ground. That's Augie Christensen. He'll eke out a few yards. Give him about 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, it looks like Augie's starting where he left off the last 4 games probably, Norm. He's been running real well as of late, and just keep feeding that kid the ball.
No score here in the first period. And this is Augie Christensen once again. Gets away from one tackler, and he appears to have a Tiger 1st down.
Yeah, that was, Augie made the first guy miss. You got to really wrap up both legs from Augie because he's tough to bring down. As you see right here, the first guy missed, and then he just makes the second guy miss and gains 8 yards in the play for a 1st down.
1st and 10 Princeton at their 23. 4:30 to go. First period, still no score. Now Tegan Davis takes the shotgun snap. He's looking to throw. He fires, and he has a man. It's complete. That is Matt Lucas hauling that one in. Appears to be just short of the 1st down.
Yeah, Tegan throwing the ball right on the money where he needed to be. And they didn't give him his forward progress, but nonetheless, it brings down 2nd down and 3 on the play.
So even though the weather's not the best, both quarterbacks having some success throwing the football. Augie Christensen surges ahead, and it appears he has a Tiger 1st down.
Yeah, we'll give him another 4 yards on that play, and that's the 2nd rushing 1st down for the Tigers as they get up and hurry up offense right away up to the line of scrimmage. They want to go wear these North Boone Vikings out.
First and 10 Tigers. And this is Tegan Davis right up the middle, very close to a 1st down.
Just short. Normal give him 9 yards on the carry, but a fake handoff to the jet sweep on Lucas and just ran it straight ahead, close to the 1st down, but again, just shy of it. So be a 2nd down and 1.
Tigers definitely trying to play up tempo, and then as I say that, an official's timeout.
Is it they're changing footballs, I think. Getting a dry football in there. You're going to see that happen with this wet atmosphere, wet field, or whatnot. So
Makes good sense. Second and a yard. Davis looks to throw. He fires. It's intended for Matt Lucas. A little bit overthrown, incomplete.
Yeah, that was open, and you could see it opening up as he ran the arrow up route as it's coming towards you, and then he moves and runs a fly route, and Teagan just overthrew him to bring it down. Third down and short. That's a good second down play. You can go for it on a second and short play like that, Norm. There's nothing wrong with that because you could always pick up the first down, if everything's blocked right, of course. But nonetheless, it's a third down and short for the Tigers.
Back in the day, second down and one used to be Bart Starr to Carroll Dale or Boyd Dowler. Schmitty says that's before my time.
I've heard of Bart Starr. That's about it. I'll just stop
Speaking of the Packers.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Packers.
Tiffany and Abby had to be really happy last night. What an amazing victory.
I'm happy about them with the baby and everything, but I don't know if I'll just throw
now
them
a complete pass to Matt Lucas, and he has the first down and more into Viking territory at the 48-yard line.
Again, 8 yards there. Tell you what, phone's blowing up right now. Everybody loving the instant replay, so it's really an added feature that the guys beyond us have put together.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
we really appreciate that by Steve Morton and Brody Anderson and Ryan Sangrath in the gang. So
of course Steve Gray, who's out there battling the elements. Davis fires down the middle, he's got a man, and this will be a touchdown. Touchdown to Ian Compton from 37 yards out with 2:50 to go in the first period.
I don't know. It looked like a busted play. As you can see, everybody just kind of stopped, and the Tigers kept going. Compton ran a seam right down the middle, and Teagan hitting them for the touchdown. As you see, Compton firing up the crowd.
Now, Steven Benavidez, who's been outstanding on PATs, he's set to try this one to put the Tigers up 7-0. Perfect execution and a perfect kick. And Princeton leads 7-0 over North Boone.
Kudos to the line for giving all that time for Teagan Davis to throw that touchdown pass, and a nice job by Teagan with the touch, and Compton doing the rest. 47-yard bomb, and we go from North Boone making a phenomenal drive down, just couldn't capitalize on it. And Vicarious there with the big stop. Make a note of that, Norm. Vicarious with that big stop.
Yes.
And drives it 96 yards back for a 7-0 score in the first quarter.
Some of you may wonder, and I want to thank our sponsors again. That would be Midland Bank, Michlig Energy, Princeton, Redi, Crete, Becks, and Central Bank. Now, we do have sponsors, but we should point out, just want to make it clear, none of us on our Tiger Central Live crew get paid. But in the playoffs, there is a fee that the IHSA charges to broadcast. So those sponsors, huge thanks to them. They're making this all possible, and apparently a penalty on the Tigers has pushed their kickoff to come from the 25. It's normally maybe unsportsmanlike conduct. At any rate, Bennett Williams will kick off, and Poplar Grove should come up with some really good field position here. Squib kick, not a bad idea on a wet night. And the return for the Vikings is going to be into Tiger territory, down to about the 44-yard line. That was Adrian Robbie on the return.
Seems like things getting a little chippy down there on the sidelines of the Vikings.
.246 to go, first period. Tigers leading 7-0. Alderman awaits the shotgun snap. He has it. looks to throw, and he has a man wide open, and it is complete. Hauling that one in is Julian Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's Alderman doing a nice job. He throws a high completion ball. He wasn't as wide open as it seemed, but it looked like there's some confusion there in the defensive backs on who was guarding who, if they were in man or if they were in zone. But they're in man. Nobody guarded that young man right there.
Yeah, and it was kind of a high pop fly pass. Normally you would have thought he wouldn't have been so open. At any rate, it's 1st and 10 at the 26 of Princeton. Now Alderman back to throw once again, fires, and this one is closer to being intercepted than completed. Trying to pick out who that is, Schmitty, on the
Noah
coverage.
Laporte.
Yeah, good job.
He has, that technique was perfect, Norm. He backpedaled with them and then turned as the receiver was looking for the ball and almost came up with the interception. So, from a freshman perspective, that's a great play by that young man right there.
And Noah's listed at 6'4". Almost was able to make that dive and make the pick. As it is, it's 2nd and 10 at the 26-yard line. With these incomplete passes, it certainly slows the clock down. 2:05 to go, first period. Now Alderman fires again, and this is complete to Will Dutch, and it is a touchdown from 26 yards out with 2 minutes to go in the first period.
Yeah, basically what happened there was, as you can see here on the instant replay, sponsored by Midland Bank, throws the ball, nice catch, and then Sirens just simply fell down. When you know where you're going and the defense doesn't, in a wet surface like this, that's advantage to the offense. And that's exactly what happened there.
Dumar Burnell on for the PAT. His kick is good, and that will tie things up at 7 apiece.
Another early score as Chicago Hope up on top of St. Bede 6-0.
All right, thank you for that, Schmitty. Normally we have, and I would guess at some point he will be, we have Brody with the out-of-town scoreboard, but he and Steve Gray are kind of double-teaming it up there on the camera on this rather inclement night. Some of the other playoff games, these are both tomorrow. Peoria, Notre Dame at Wheaton St. Francis. Plano at Kewanee, 1 o'clock tomorrow. That should be interesting. North Boone, of course, at Princeton tonight. Mendota's at Pecatonica tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Monmouth Roseville, what a draw. They play at IC Catholic tonight.
Yeah, that'll be a tough game for them.
Yeah, to say the least. Eureka.
For anybody they play.
At Paxton, Buckley, Loda. Of course, Tigers played them in the playoffs very recently. That'll be a 1 o'clock start. Newman at Mercer County, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Newman's 2A. Clifton Central at Erie Prophetstown, 2 o'clock. El Paso at Farmington, that's a 1 o'clock start tomorrow. And we'll give you the 1A after a bit. Right now, here comes the kickoff by the Vikings. Takes a bounce, and the Tigers have it. Straight ahead return. And the returnman slips and falls as we... Noah Laporte again. Okay.
Yeah, he just slipped and fall, tried to make a cut, and just couldn't quite cut in that wet grass.
1st and 10, Tigers at their own 33-yard line.
Shout out to all the Princeton alumni for chiming in and watching us. We appreciate you. We see all the texts and the tweets, and we appreciate everybody watching us at home.
No question about that.
As the Tigers take over here at the minute 55 to go in this first quarter, tied up at 7.
And this is Augie Christensen up the middle. He's got big yardage, a first down, and a whole lot more as he gets to midfield. 1st and 10, Princeton. We're actually going to mark him back at the Tiger 49. Must have slid forward a yard, but nonetheless, a big gain for Augie.
As you can see on that instant replay there, Norm, the offensive line just manhandling the defensive line of the North Boone Vikings.
Christensen this time for a Gain of about 3. It'll bring up second down and 7. Clock ticking, 1:26 to go, first period. We're tied at 7.
Augie already having 5 rushing attempts for 35 yards. So you do the math, that's 7 yards per carry. So great job by that young man in the offensive line pushing forward.
And it's Augie once again. Goes around right end. He'll be short of the first down, but it will bring up third and short.
Yeah, Augie could have ran for days there, but somebody came up with the tackle. I couldn't quite make out the number, Norm, but
Garrett Lewis, I heard Mike Varana say, number 57. Garrett's 6 foot, 190-pounder. Third down and 2 for Princeton at the 44 of the Vikings. Clock is dipped under 30 seconds to go here in the opening period. And Tegan Davis calls his own number. Tegan still on his feet. He is knocked down around the 22-yard line. So a big run for Tegan Davis.
yeah, Tegan's going to be mad because he thought he should stay on his feet there. As you see him running off of the off tackle there. Just couldn't quite make it off of the Michlig Energy replay right there.
Excellent call, Schmitty. First and 10 at the 22. Tigers do not have to snap the ball. You can see the clock, and that is the end of the first period. That hike came too late. So we are, after one period, we are tied up at 7. Some of the other playoff games in 1A, Chicago Hope at St. Bede, and Schmitty, we had a score on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 6-0 Hope, Norm.
All right. Also, Anawan Weathersfield at Abington, the Tornadoes. Princeville at Ottawa Marquette. Now, these games are tomorrow. Chicago Raby, you might recall, in the not-too-distant past. They were a playoff opponent for Princeton. They're at Fulton. Boy, that Pat Lauer, year after year, he always has good teams, doesn't he? Galena's at Forreston tonight. And Aurora Christian, boy, this ought to be a battle, Schmitty. Aurora Christian at Lena Winslow, 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to go see if you wanted to go make it to a game tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice out tomorrow as far as weather goes, no rain. Probably be in the 50s.
I think if I'm going to go to one tomorrow, it'd be Kewanee, though. I root for our conference representative. Well, we have more than one, but they certainly are. Plus, they're notorious for good pork chops there. First and 10 at the 22 for the for the Tigers, and the pass is complete to Matt Lucas. Oh, could have been called a horse collar there. It's not. And just a short gain, if any, on the play.
To Augie, who follows his blockers in for the touchdown. That lead blocker there was number 68 for the Tigers, Matt Peacock. Nice job by that young man, because Augie just hid behind him and scored the touchdown.
Stephen Benavidez on for the PATs, kicking towards Central Street, and also a spirited student section, and this one is off to the left. So the score will remain Princeton 13 and the North Boone Vikings 7. Well, who will the Tigers play if they win? Two possibilities, and it's a game that's tomorrow at Fairbury Prairie Central. It's Chicago King at Fairbury at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Chicago King is coached by Derek Hunter. They outscored opponents 258 to 189 this year, so that figures out to 29-21. Fairbury Prairie Central is 7-2, coached by Andrew Quayne. They lost to Tolono Unity, a 9-0 ball club, 41-28. Beat Pontiac 20-2. Beat St. Joseph Ogden 34-28. Beat Rantoul 48-14. Beat Chillicothe 12-7. Beat Paxton Buckley Loda 14-8. Beat Olympia 28-0. Lost to Monticello, a perennial state powerhouse, 12-0. Beat Bloomington Central Catholic, a powerhouse, 15-0. And we'll talk more about Fairbury Prairie Central later on. But right now the Tigers are ready to kick off, leading 13-7. Once again, a bouncing kick. Takes a Sunday hop and is fielded by the Vikings. As on the return that time was Adrian Raby.
Tackle by Brady Byers and Ace Christensen there with the tackle. Kind of made a sandwich out of him, so to speak. Hey, another shout out to the 8th grade Lady Lions as they won the conference championship last night over Peru. Got to watch that game too.
Wow. Coached by our good friend Darcy Kepner, who will be, of course, coaching the Tiger girls this year. Alderman, they set up the screen. No, he's still got the ball. Can't get rid of it. Fires at the last minute. And we're waiting for a signal. We do have a flag on the play.
It's either a hold on the Tigers or a legal man downfield for the North Boone. No flag on the play.
Now they indicate that there is, and it's going to go against the Vikings.
What was the waving of the arms first?
Oh, I agree. I saw that too, and it's like
maybe he was thinking back when he used to do the hand jive. I think that's what it was. The hand jive. You know what I'm talking about, Norm? This. I don't know how to do that.
No, I'm sure you're right. So it's going to bring up now first down and 20 for the Vikings.
St. B just tied it up 6-6, Norm. Just to let you know over Chicago.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll definitely keep tabs on that all night long. Alderman calls his own number, and he's going to get a nice gain. With the penalty, though, it's still going to bring up about 11 yards to go for the first down.
Yeah, Justin Wicarius a little upset with himself as he thought he had Alderman snuffed out in the backfield and just couldn't quite make the tackle. But to his defense, I mean, he did have a lineman on top of him, too, so that would have been another great play. But he expects a lot out of himself, and so doesn't the Tigers. We'll see if he makes it up for this play here.
What's Alderman throwing the ball tonight? How many out of how many?
Norm, I dropped the ball, and I've not kept stats on them, just on the Husk.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I can tell you that. He just completed a pass, but there is a flag down. It was Will Dutch hauling that one in. The flag was in the defensive backfield, so this should be most interesting.
He was super wide open, so maybe it was offensive pass interference. We'll see. Nope, holding against the Tigers.
Defensive holding. Of course, in the pros, it's 5 yards and an automatic first down, but we know things in high school don't necessarily translate the same way.
I think they can either replay the down and take the penalty, or they take the yardage right there, right? Oh, no, it's a spot foul, they say.
It's 10 yards on that penalty, and it will give the Vikings a first down with 10:09 to go before halftime.
I don't know how that works since it's not really, I don't know. That's an odd penalty.
The Vikings have the ball at their own 47-yard line, trailing 13-7. Tigers showing blitz, and here they come. Alderman under heavy pressure, gets it away, and it's incomplete, intended for Will Dutch, but Alderman just didn't have the time he wanted.
Gotta say hockey there with the blitzing from the linebacker position. Just couldn't quite get up the sack, but rushed Alderman's throw, so he had to force a incomplete pass down, bringing it 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings.
Alderman has good size, 6'4", and 210, and he is just a junior, so that bodes very well for the Vikings.
That makes him 9 for 14 for the night so far, Norm. I'm passing.
Okay, thank you for that. Now Alderman is going to tuck and run. We have a penalty flag, so this could be called back.
Yeah, I think it's a holding. There's also a flag on the other side of the field, too. Is that a flag on the other side or no?
It is indeed.
I think they both had the same thing, maybe.
So holding against the Vikings.
Yeah, there's a spot foul as well, so it brings a 2nd down and about 20 probably. See if the Tigers can take advantage of this.
Empty backfield. Trips to the far side of the field. Alderman, the lefty, looks to throw. He fires, and his pass is complete. That is Julian Rodriguez on the grab.
Carson Etheridge right there with the tackle. Good coverage by Carson, keeping it in front of him, wrapping up and making the tackle to bring up 3rd down and 16 for the Vikings.
Well, we've mentioned it earlier, but it doesn't bother this team to play behind the chains. They've been able to pick up several 2nd and 3rd and longs and turn them into 1st downs. See if the Tigers perhaps dial up a blitz here to get some extra pressure on Alderman. No, just rushing 3, and the pass is complete, but not a whole lot of yardage as that was complete to Adrian Raby.
Noah Laporte there with a big tackle. Brings on 4th down and 10. I tell you, for a freshman, Laporte's playing big-time minutes right now in a big-time game, and he's proven that he's worthy of the cause.
Exactly. Very worthy, very deserving. He does a super job. Punting situation for North Boone, and the punter is Alderman, so you got to watch out for a fake. But he's not going to fake. It's a low kick, and it's going to bounce, and this is very well placed for the Vikings perspective as the ball's down at the Tiger 10-yard line with 7:44 to go before halftime.
So, I mean, the Tigers aren't known for their long driving ability, but what would be nice if we had sustained a long drive here and ran down the clock and punched it in, and Tigers get the ball back to start the 2nd half.
Excellent point.
Kind of like a 2-for-1 possession, you know?
And it's, as we've, seen this game progress, it's like that clock stands still when North Boone has the ball, but the Tigers with Augie running chew the clock up fairly quickly. First and 10 for Princeton from their 10. And it's Augie Christensen on the carry. This time he's going to be wrestled down for a loss.
Robinson there with the stop, and it was, Robinson just exploded on the play. I talked good about the offensive line. That time Robinson got through there and made Augie have a 1-yard loss.
Robinson listed at 6'2", 265-pound senior. What will the Tigers dial up on 2nd and 11? It's Augie Christensen. And Augie able to pick up the first down and more. And he's having a great night, Schmitty.
He sure is, Norm, and he got another first down there as he picks up a huge gain. We'll call it a gain of probably 14 on the play. As you can see, the receiver's trying to get out there to block in front of Augie, just couldn't quite get there.
And again, a shout out to Ryan Songeroth as he has loaned us some equipment that has allowed us to bring you these instant replays. And of course, Steve Morton, Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson doing their usual outstanding job. Now the Tigers keep it on the ground. And that time it is C.J. Hickey on the carry.
We haven't seen him since week 1, I think, Norm.
But we know one thing about him. He has tremendous speed. 2nd down and about 6 for the Tigers.
He had a great first game there against Rock Ridge.
He did indeed. So this time 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Tigers lead 13-7. They're going to keep it on the ground, and it's Hickey once again. This will just be a short gain.
We'll give him a gain of 2.
3rd down and 4 coming up.
I got Augie Christensen down for 10 carries for 75 yards. That is, of course, don't hold me accountable to those stats, but that's what I have him for.
7.5 yards a pop. That'll work out really, really well. And Augie gets the call this time. He has the first down. In fact, he has about that average, Schmitty, on that carry, as he needed 3 and got close to 7 anyway. It'll be 1st and 10 for Princeton at their 37-yard line. Just as Schmitty talked about, Tigers working that clock in nice fashion.
Yeah, Lion again doing a nice job gaining some ground for Augie.
Now Tegan Davis has it. Looks to throw. Fires, and a diving attempt by Matt Lucas. It's incomplete. Chris Dutch on the coverage.
Yeah, Tegan, you didn't know if he was going to run that ball or throw that ball, and he chose to throw it that time. And, I would have rather him take off right there, but he didn't really have a lane to run in, so I'll give him some credit there for maybe trying to throw it where a place where Dutch couldn't get it, but Dutch almost came up with it there.
We should point out, Tiger offensive line doing a nice job. The Vikings, they've got some big boys up on that front line, but so far they've been able to keep them out. And now Tegan is going to run with it. Turns the corner, and he has a first down. He's still on his feet. Look at those moves as he gets close to the 40-yard line of the Vikings.
And here comes that play here brought to you by Becks as Tegan running to the outside. He has some pulling linemen there making some nice blocks, and then Tegan just tries to outrun everybody. Stays in right there and gets past the 40-yard line. We're right before the 40-yard line, I should say.
Speaking of Becks, how's our old buddy Tim Perry?
Tim Perry's doing great. Got a chance to talk
indeed.
to him. We appreciate his sponsorship.
1st and 10. Augie off left tackle. Ooh, I thought I saw a face mask there. No flag. And he is taken down inside the 40-yard line of the Vikings.
Hey, Coach Freds, how much was Tegan's run right there, the last run we had? Thank you.
2nd down and 7. Now it's Augie Christensen on the carry. And Augie breaks a tackle. He's got a first down and a whole lot more down inside close to the 25-yard line. We do have a flag, however, on the play, and we'll see what that's all about.
As you see Augie busting it loose outside.
there you can see it as they mark it off against the Tigers. Was that holding, Schmitty?
Yeah, it was holding against the Tigers. Must have been there right after right at where Augie went out of bounds at, because they marked him off right about there. So
2nd down and 7 from the 38. Clock shows 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go before halftime. Teagan goes under center. Looks to throw. He has a man open, and the pass is complete. And good yardage on that play.
Carson Etheridge.
Carson Etheridge picks up the first down inside the 25-yard line of the Vikings.
Did you see that nice route by Carson? This replay brought to you by Central Bank, and making the first guy miss, so to speak, and gaining him 4 yards after the play.
First and 10 Tigers at the 24 of the Vikings. This time it is C.J. Hickey. Nothing fancy here, straight ahead, but a good gain on first down. Very good gain. Give him 6.
He's a nice compliment to Augie Christensen. You got the Lightning package with Augie, and you got the Thunder package with Hickey, I believe.
2nd down and 4 from the 19. And this time the Vikings were expecting Augie Christensen, and they got him. And that's Jaden Robinson. We called his name moments ago, Schmidt. He's a tough player.
Well, it looked like either our left guard, I think maybe Harp, either had the wrong play or something happened, because he looked back at Teagan like, what happened there? So I don't know if they had the wrong play. They were on maybe it was Matt Peacock. Sorry, excuse me, maybe Matt Peacock there, but the wrong play or whatnot. But nonetheless, brings them 3rd down and 8-7 for the Tigers.
And Teagan Davis is going to call his own number. He's still on his feet, tries to get to the stake. If he doesn't have it, he's very, very close.
Dang it. Teagan has to know where the down and distant marker is there. I mean, he's got to cut it up and try to get that first down.
4th down and a yard from the 15, and timeout taken by the Tigers. Again, a shout out to our sponsors here on Tiger Central Live: Midland Bank, Michlig Energy, Princeton, Redi, Crete, Becks, and Central Bank. Also, again, a shout out to Ryan Songaroth for loaning us some equipment that's allowing these replays. Also to the Princeton Public School Foundation, and also to Steve Morton, Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson for their usual outstanding work. Well, 4th and a yard here, Schmitty. What are you going with?
I don't know. We got the Tiger crazies down there in the end zone. They're wanting to see some action down there. I give it to Augie. Augie's been the most consistent runner besides Teagan, so you can't go wrong with either one, Teagan or Augie.
This time an I formation backfield. And Teagan's just going to take it himself. Doesn't get a whole lot, but he's got enough for a first down.
Might be the first quarterback sneak I've seen all year, Norm.
Yeah.
And that's first down 10. It's a minute 38 to go and counting in the half. So great drive by the Tigers. Just what I suggested them to do. They listened to me up in the booth, of course, Norm.
No question. Tigers do have 2 timeouts left as Davis runs around in the backfield. Now he's going to take off, and he's going to get good yardage. He's knocked out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 1:16 to go before halftime.
Yeah, that's a smart run by Teagan, getting out of bounds, taking what the defense gave him, picked up 7 on the play, brings on a 2nd down and 3 at the 7-yard line for the Tigers.
Student section moving from the bleachers to just beyond the end line of the end zone. They're saying, come give us a high five. Tigers lead 13-7. A touchdown here just before halftime would be huge. Once again, the I formation backfield. And Davis lost his footing, but he didn't fall down, and in fact, surges ahead into the end zone. And he's going to go over and say hello to his classmates as the Tigers go up 19-7 with 1:09 to go before halftime.
Well, he's a little amped up because he about got stood up in the backfield because there was a great play here, as you can see the instant replay by Michlig Energy. The linebacker dives over top of the center, and Teagan gains his composure and spins out of it for a 7-yard touchdown run. That's just a great athletic play by the Viking, but nice job by Teagan regaining his composure and making a touchdown run out of it.
No question about that, and as you fans have been watching tonight, you know that field is a bit on the slippery side, but it didn't bother Teagan Davis. Schmitty, what do you think about that student section there behind the goalpost? That is an impressive group indeed.
Yeah, the Tigers have been representing well. They represented well last night, as Coach Puck I'll talk to you at halftime about. I thought they did a nice job coming out and supporting the volleyball team last night, and they're doing it again at the football team. So wherever you go, the Tiger faithful are there to watch, and we commend them for that.
So we'll see if I'm guessing the Tigers will still kick. They may go for two, though, as they lead 19-7.
I think that's probably why Coach Pearson called a timeout, because I think he wants to go for a two to make up for that extra point that was missed earlier on.
And that is the case. The Tigers are going to go for two. C.J. Hickey is the deep back. Carson Etheridge in the offset I is the front man in that formation. Davis looks to throw.
He can run it in if he wants.
Now he throws at the last instant, and the pass is incomplete. The score will remain Princeton 19 and North Boone 7.
Yeah, I think if, Teagan can do it all over again, I think he tries to rush that in. He had a lot of time. I think he picked his spot right there and got the 2-point conversion there, but just threw it short to look like Bennett Sirens there. Nonetheless, Tigers make a critical score before half to bring it 19-7 up over the Vikings in North Boone.
And clearly, Davis's running ability has made those linemen for North Boone a little gun-shy about coming in too quickly, because they know he'll just scoot right by him. Well, 1:09 to go before halftime. Schmitty, you can't count these Vikings out that they could score. They don't use much clock with their passing game, but
I see Catholic up over Monmouth Roseville 14-0.
And we wish the Titans well, but that is no surprise. That IC Catholic is a powerhouse. Bennett Williams set to kick off. Tiger lead is 19-7. Bouncing kick fielded by the Vikings at their 25, and the advance is about to the 31-yard line.
Another freshman, Ace Christensen, there with the tackle. I tell you, that's a good freshman class that the Tigers have on their football squad this year.
Adrian Raby on the return for the Vikings.
It was 14 at the I don't know if it was half.
So we'll see what the Vikings dial up with just 1:04 to go, first half.
Norm, strike that. It's 21-0 now, IC over Monmouth Roseville.
Okay. Alderman takes the shotgun snap. He fires over the middle, and he's got his man. That's Chris Dutch, who is out near midfield with a first down.
Remember, Vikings only have one timeout because they burned too early.
This young man, Chandler Alderman, he's got quite an arm. It's nothing for him to throw a couple of 25-yard passes. He's back to throw. He's got time. He fires, and his pass is complete. And that's Chris Dutch once again. He's just short of the first down.
North Boone going to use their last timeout. And coach is probably wondering, I should have burnt those first two timeouts there early in that first
They'd be
quarter.
in a lot better position, wouldn't they, if they still had them. So Monmouth Roseville trailing IC Catholic 21-0. What was our last St. Bede score? Do you recall?
I believe it was 6-6.
Okay, very good. Some of the other games going on tonight, LaSalle Peru is at Morris, Anawan Weathersfield at Abington, Princeville at Ottawa Marquette. We mentioned Chicago Hope at St. Bede, and Galena at Forreston. As our good friend and colleague Charlie Waka would say, we've seen the TV cameras here, so good chance we'll make the highlight zone or the score, whatever one of those programs you enjoy. Alderman fires deep, and this one just out of the reach of his favorite receiver, Will Dutch. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
I believe Carson Etheridge in there on the hit on Alderman as he got ready to release the ball. So the Tigers trying to put some pressure on Alderman, not letting him have so much time in the backfield to let his receivers develop any kind of routes. And the Tigers are doing a nice job keeping everything in front of them. So remember, down in distance, fellas, 32.3 seconds to go in this half. Keep everything in front of you.
This Chandler Alderman, 1,661 yards and 25 touchdown passes. Tremendous stats. And now Alderman's going to run, and he has a first down to about the 30-yard line. The clock will stop momentarily while they set the chains. 24 seconds remaining before halftime.
And that's okay. Keep it in front of you.
Now Alderman's going to spike the ball, and that will bring up 2nd down and 10.
That spike kind of reminded me, you ever watched Happy Gilmore?
Oh, yes.
Where the caddy picked up that rock and just threw it in the pond? That's what that spike kind of reminded me of. You just grabbed that rock and kind of just nonchalantly threw it into the pond a little bit.
Well, as long as there's not a gutter down around the 5-yard line that funnels the ball to Will Dutch, we'll be okay.
I just don't think there's going to be any Bob Barker sighting to have a fight in, that's all.
2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line of Princeton. Alderman back to throw. He's going once again for his favorite receiver, Will Dutch. Jump ball situation, and it is tipped out of bounds by Bennett Sirens.
So now we got an interesting, is it 3rd down and 10 here? Is it 4th down? 3rd down and 10. So 13.2 seconds left to go in the half. 3rd and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Well, Alderman's got the arm. He can reach the end zone, no question about that.
I don't know where Weathersfield's playing at, Norm, but they're in a weather delay as we speak.
They are at Abington, home of the Tornadoes.
Well,
so maybe
the Tornado might have something going on because they're not playing football right now.
Small surprise that they're having weather issues. All right. Alderman back to throw. His pass incomplete. He was going for Julian Rodriguez. And it'll bring up 4th and 10 with just 8 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Brady Byers there, and really good help by the safeties of Tegan Davis and Noah Laporte. So 8.2 seconds to go. This might be the last play of the half there, Norm, unless they pick up a first down. But it's going to be a long developing play. So I would venture to say this is probably the last play for the Vikings unless they turn the ball over on downs.
We do have a strong north wind tonight, and that wind is at the back of Chandler Alderman. Alderman fires away, and this pass is knocked away at the last instant.
Noah Laporte.
Intended for Chris Dutch, 1.9 seconds. So I do think in this instance I'd just take a knee. What do you think, Schmidt?
Yeah, I think you probably will. I don't know. You can maybe let Teagan scramble or maybe run the ball himself. Because if there's one kid that could break away from everybody, it would be him. So they got some decisions to make, but I think Coach Pearson would be happy with going into the locker room with 19-7 lead, coming out with the ball in the second half.
Exactly. Teagan does go under center. And he is going to run a play. Rolls out, fires deep, and this one is knocked away at the last instant. Oscar Ovi with the deflection, and that's the end of the first half. Princeton leads 19-7. Well, no band performance, no palm performance, so we will go right into our... Oh, wait a minute. Steve tells me we do have the palm performance, so we'll be with you in a moment here. Coach Andy Puck will be joining us in just a few minutes. And we're back at halftime. The Princeton Tigers leading the North Boone Vikings by a score of 19-7, and very pleased to be joined by the head volleyball coach here at Princeton High School, Andy Puck. And of course, Andy, a big win for the Tigers last night over Knoxville. If you could tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, we were the number one seed coming in on our sectional out of 11 teams, and just told the kids, you know, we had Farmington first, and then we ended up having to play Knoxville last night. So Farmington on Tuesday and Knoxville on Thursday, and we just had to play well. We were favored, so it's one of those things where you just want to leave it on the floor. We have everything to lose; they don't, and super excited and proud of my kids on the way they performed this week. And just put everything together at the right time, and we played like the number one seed, like we should have been. I was really, really proud of the outcome.
Absolutely. And of course that was That was at Bureau Valley, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And now sectional play coming up, so if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're in the Knoxville sectional. Monday night we play Macomb at 6:30. We have the second match after Riverdale and Quincy Notre Dame at 5:30. We've battled Macomb earlier this season. They were one of our 6 losses, and we're a different team than we were earlier than we saw them. So my kids will be ready. They'll definitely be ready, and we're gonna give everything we have, and I expect to win that match.
And where does Princeton's record stand right now?
29-6-2. We finished 10-2 in conference, and hopefully after Monday night we end up 36-2.
And I know, obviously a great regular season as well. A win over LaSalle Peru, which it's been quite a while since that happened.
Yeah, good friend Kevin Hieronymus here. He went back and checked the archives, and I'm embarrassed to say, but it's been 15 years since we'd beaten them. But you know what? I always schedule them. I try to schedule some of the better teams in the area. I try to schedule some of the better teams that from the old NCIC. I still have old NCIC roots and thoroughly miss that conference. Still try to play them as much as possible, and we don't duck anybody. I mean, for a lot of years, we would start our season out 0-1. But I knew where we would be at the middle of the season and at the end of the season and how good we needed to be, and our kids did also.
How's the health of the team? Do we have any injuries we have to deal with, or are we in pretty good shape?
I wish there was some wood in here. I guess I could use my head. I'll knock on wood here. But we're extremely healthy. Extremely, extremely healthy. So hopefully that continues throughout postseason.
Well, I know that you brought a roster sheet up here, and if you wouldn't mind, just run through and make a few comments about each girl.
Yeah, so I'll start with my 10 seniors. 6 of them have been with me since sophomore year. So we'll start with them first. It's Mackenzie Hecht, Maya Garten, Abby Peterson, Taylor Wetzel. And then 2 of them have been with me since their freshman year, Katie Bates and Madison Richards. And then if we go down the line, we also have Olivia Garten as a junior, Jenna Loftus, senior, Libby Boyles, senior, Isa Ibarra, junior. Morgan Foes, we just pulled up as a sophomore for the postseason roster. Anastasia Mallory Sondergroth, senior, Madison Doran, junior, Maya Fox, who we just pulled up, postseason roster as a sophomore, Gracie Funderburg, senior, Lily Keitzer, junior, and that rounds out our 16 right there for postseason.
And if you wouldn't mind, Coach Puck, if since we've got plenty of time here with no band performance, if you could just, say each girl and maybe tell what their role is or what they bring to the team. Obviously, you've got to have a good bench to, test your starters and practice. So
right.
Go right ahead.
With volleyball, it's a little different. You don't necessarily look at starters versus non-starters because just because there's 6 players on the court that start, technically.
Sure.
We play 10, 11 kids, so they're coming in and out at different times. I'll name 2 of my kids here that actually have a chance, or one of them has actually broken our all-time career assists record, which is Katie Bates. So an assist is, obviously, she's our setter. She puts the ball in the air, and a hitter puts the ball to the floor, and that is an assist. And she actually broke our all-time record at Princeton High School. She's currently at 2,200 assists, and that record goes back to 1974 with Rita Classic. Yeah, and that's her not having much of a junior season and no postseason as a junior year. Abby Peterson, our libero, she's been with me since her sophomore year. She has a chance of breaking her older sister Corinne's record in digs. Abby's currently at 900. Corinne is at 1,010 digs. And this is all-time at Princeton High School, once again, 1973. Unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult for her to break that because she did not have much of a season last year, the junior year, as COVID took. Taylor Wetzel, back row player for us. She is basically all energy. She's the one that's doing cartwheels in the back row, popping balls up left and right. Jenna Loftus is an opposite hitter for us. She's one of our better blockers on the right side. Lily Keitzer is an outside hitter for us. Gracie Funderburg is a middle/right side. Maya Fox, defensive specialist, brought her up as a sophomore. Madison Doran, defensive specialist. Anastasia Mallory Sondergroth, defensive specialist. Short serving specialist, if you will. Mackenzie Hecht, high flyer outside hitter. Maya Garten, tall middle, great blocker hitter. Libby Boyles, one of our better servers. Great defensive player. Katie Bates, just talked about her. Phenomenal floor captain, quarterback of the team, and setter. Isa Ibarra, backup setter / defensive specialist, one of our better servers. Olivia Garten, junior outside hitter, took a role this year and took that role and never ever looked back, and has been with us starting ever since, and one of our leaders on the team is a junior. Morgan Foes, like I said, brought her up as a sophomore, 6'2", could see some time against Macomb on Monday nights. And then we round out with Madison Richards, been with me since her freshman year. We had a player go down her freshman year, and she was one of my varsity kids. We had an opening. I asked Madison and her family if she was interested. She took the job, and she's been with me the last 4 years, and she's one of the better middle hitters I've ever had.
That is awesome. We've had at halftimes of these games, we've talked to Katie Bates, Mackenzie Heck, and Isa Ibarra,
Yes.
and I know that's just a sample, but aside from the outstanding talent of these girls, it certainly seems to me that you have girls of very high character.
These kids are incredible. They make practices fun. They hold each other accountable. They push each other, and it's a joy to come to the gym. It really is. I've been doing this a long time, and this is one of the more fun seasons I've had in a long time because of these kids.
And Coach Puck, is there anything else you would like to add?
If we could get as much support on Monday night, it's an hour-and-a-half drive down to Knoxville, but I'd love to have as much support as we can. Love to give a shout-out to our Blue Rush. I see them down there in the end zone right now. We had a phenomenal home record this year. We lost one match all year, and a lot of that was due to our student body. They would dress up for different nights. They would have neon night. Last night was camo night over at Bureau Valley, and they just have been supporting us all year, and I cannot thank them enough.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming up here, and boy, what a tremendous season, and still more to come.
Yes, still more to come. I appreciate the time.
All right, that is Andy Puck. He is the head volleyball coach at Princeton High School. And Schmitty will be along here with some stats. I was telling you a little bit about Fairbury Prairie Central, who is a potential opponent for Princeton. Just a few more notes on them. Fairbury Prairie Central is composed of the towns of Fairbury, population 3,757, Cropsey, population 171, Forest, population 1220. By the way, they used to have a high school, and they were the Eskimos. Strawn, population 100. They used to have a high school. They were called the Bluebirds. And Wing, population 75. They used to have a high school. They were called the Wildcats. How do I know that? Well, if you go to Illinois High School Glory Days, you can read up on that, and it's fascinating stuff. But King and Fairbury tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Just one other note on Fairbury. I found this quite interesting. There is a man in Fairbury. His name is Ronald McDonald, and he owns a restaurant. And he has been in a legal battle with the Golden Arches McDonald's for 26 years. And he actually won the case and has the right to have his name over the restaurant. So interesting indeed. So Fairbury and Chicago King will go at it tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Fairbury, and the winner of that will play whoever wins here tonight, Princeton or North Boone. Schmitty, you just let me know when you're ready for the halftime stats. Again, we're keeping an eye on the playoff games going on tonight. They include LaSalle Peru at Morris, Anawan Weathersfield at Abington, and we noted that one was in a weather delay. So if we think the weather's rough here, it's nothing to what it is in Abington. Monmouth Roseville was trailing IC Catholic 21-0. Princeville at Ottawa Marquette, Chicago Hope at St. Bede. The last score we had that was a tie at 6. And Galena is at Forreston. As far as scoring plays in this game, the Tigers got their first touchdown with 2:50 to go in the first period. Tegan Davis to Ian Compton, 47 yards. Stephen Benevez's kick, 7-0. Then North Boone got on the board. Alderman to Will Dutch, 26 yards. Burnell with the kick, and it was tied at 7. Then Augie Christensen at the 11-14 mark before halftime, an 11-yard run made it 13-7 Princeton, and Tegan Davis a 7-yard run put the Tigers up 19-7. And Schmitty, you got some good info for us here?
Yeah, I do. I got some halftime stats here. First for the visiting Vikings, Alderman is 13 for 24 for 150 yards and a touchdown. Leading the way for the Vikings is number 4. Actually, strike that number 5, Will Dutch. He's got 6 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. And then his brother, I believe, Chris Dutch. Are they brothers, I believe? 4 catches for 56 yards. Number 22, Julian Rodriguez, has 2 catches for 22 yards. And Adrian Raby, number 24, has got 1 catch for 6 yards. For the Tigers, Tegan Davis is 5 for 8 for 77 yards with that touchdown pass to Compton. And leading the way receiving-wise is Compton with the catch for 47 yards. Matt Lucas got 3 catches for 16 yards, and Carson Etheridge also has a catch for 14 yards as well. Rushing the ball, Augie Christensen with 83 yards on the ground. Tegan Davis with 67 yards on the ground, and C.J. Hickey with 13 yards on the ground. First downs for the Tigers. I show them with 11 first downs altogether, with 9 by rush and 2 by passing. So there you have it, Norm.
All right, and you told me to make a note of it, so I did. Justin Wicarius on North Boone's opening drive, and North Boone was moving the ball at about the 10-yard line, came up with a big defensive play to stop that drive, and the Tigers, that was just huge. North Boone would have taken an early lead.
Yeah, absolutely. The big guy, Wicarius, there with that disruption in the backfield when Alderman tried to throw the ball. But as you see all the replays, Norm, that's shown on at home with the winding of the half here, the great play by Nora Laporte coming over to break that play up to end the first half, basically.
And I see on the creeper we have the out-of-town scoreboard with IC Catholic over Monmouth Roseville, 21-0. Our St. Bede score has stayed the same. You want to take him, Schmitty?
Yeah, St. Bede scored a field goal there late in the half, bringing it 9-6 St. Bede. Princeville over Ottawa Marquette, I believe. Tied 6-6. And then Forreston and Galena, it's a 16 to, I believe, 7. 16-8 over Galena. So, special shout out for the sponsors to help make this broadcast possible. Midland Bank, Central Bank, Redi Crete, Becks, and Michlig Energy. So thank you to our sponsors for tonight's game, along with Princeton Public School Foundation, and a shout out to Mr. Ryan Songrath as he let us use some of his equipment to bring some of this special stuff to you as the replays and such whatnot to you guys at home. So we hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We're certainly having fun up here, Norm. It's a blast so far. Nothing like playoff football, that's for sure. And the Tigers up 19-7, getting the ball back to go in the second half, and let's get with it.
Absolutely. And, of course, we can have better equipment, but it doesn't mean anything unless you've got the guys that can put it to good use. And in Steve Morton, Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson, I don't think we could have a better group of guys.
No, not at all. They're a fun group of guys to be around. We can joke around with each other, have a good time, and it just makes the environment that much more fun to be a part of.
I can't say for Ryan. He said that's
But we have fun, but I also appreciate they know when it's time to get serious, and they do a great job. So Burnell's kick, it's a bouncing kick, and the Tigers down it at the 30-yard line. Noah Laporte again, Schmitty.
Yeah, Vicarious tried to get his paws on that because he wanted to run back for the second week in a row, and the ball got away from him. He tried to chase it down. Laporte just pounced on it and said, "Not today, big fella. We're just going to pounce on that and get the ball back to our offense." So,
well, you talked about it. Tigers did a nice job of clock management, got a score just before halftime, and now if they could punch one in now, pretty well put this one to bed. Tigers keep it on the ground. That's Augie Christensen. Oh, big yardage, but man, was he ever hit hard as he has the first down.
Yeah, but he just bounced back up and wants the football again, Norm. He's a strong, athletic young man, only a junior.
1st and 10 at the 41 of the Vikings, and it's Augie once again, and he's going to get close to midfield. It'll be short of a first down.
And what people don't realize, or maybe you do, but he's also a linebacker that roams sideline to sideline. So for him to be as in great shape as he is, he does a nice job handling his defensive duties and balances his offensive duties with it. So from time to time, you'll see Augie getting a blow on offense is because he plays both ways so much.
Augie 5'6", 155, and a junior. And now you saw it, ladies and gentlemen. If that's not offsides, maybe unnecessary roughness. Let's see what comes of this.
I think it's going to be a 5-yard offsides and a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct, but I think the refs are going to talk about it with each other. But that's got to be something. I mean, you can't just hit our quarterback like that with no consequences whatsoever.
Jaden Robinson, who's had a great night. He's the offender. Offsides and the personal foul. So you're exactly right, Schmitty.
Hey, you got a couple of updated scores. Moline up over Hampshire 27-7. And then IC just hammering Monmouth Roseville as expected 34-0. Nothing against Monmouth Roseville. Just that we knew going into it that IC was that much better.
Yeah, a few years ago, Princeton had the misfortune to draw IC Catholic, and they won by quite a wide margin, IC Catholic over Princeton.
And the Atlanta Braves up over the cheating Houston Astros 1-0.
All right.
In the World Series of baseball.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line of the Vikings, as the Tigers, beneficiaries of not only an offsides penalty, but also an unsportsmanlike penalty against the Vikings. Vikings are looking like they're going to blitz. Now they drop back, and the handoff goes to Augie Christensen. A nice gain on first down as he gets inside the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you can see that the Vikings try and do some adjustment to the Christensen running up the middle, but he's been gashing them all game long as he's up over the century mark. I got him down for 105 yards.
Wow, and just barely into the second half. That's incredible. I-formation backfield, and it's Christensen once again. He's going to eke out a couple of yards as Chris Dutch in on the tackle for the Vikings.
Yeah, I think, Tigers they can do so much stuff off of the Christensen handoff. They can play some play action if they want it, have Teagan keep it to run or throw the ball. So they can play off of since Augie's having so much success, they can play off of that a little bit.
3rd and 6 at the Viking 34. Tigers lead 19-7, opening possession, 3rd period. High snap. Davis is able to get it. He rolls, and he's going to decide to run. It's going to be a good decision as he gets down around the 30-yard line. It will bring up 4th down, but certainly 4th down and short.
Yeah, he makes it a manageable 4th and short, like you said, Norm. It was a good decision by Teagan, who could not find a receiver open down the field. Instructed his fellow teammates to block ahead for him, and now we got a 4th down and 1 coming up. But an excellent choice of play there by Teagan.
What would you do on 4th and 1?
I'd sneak it again or give it to Augie, pitch it to the outside since I think it's coming to the middle. You got some options you can do.
I think I'd have Teagan run it. And Davis is going to run. He turns the corner, and he has the 1st down. So, looks like by about 3 yards or so.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing when you call your own number, that's for sure. Because you can tell Teagan's probably the fastest kid on the field, or the most athletic kid on the field, that's for sure. When he has the ball in his hands, it's hard to tackle him down.
Clock is dipped under 9 minutes to go. 3rd period, Princeton lead 19-7. Now Davis looks to throw. He fires, and this one is incomplete. Trying to get the intended receiver there, Matt Lucas, it appears.
Yeah, he had Lucas open and just couldn't quite simmer that ball down. As you can tell, the wind is probably affecting that, as you alluded to earlier, Norm, that the wind is at the back of the Tigers as right now, going into that south end zone.
2nd down and 10 from the 25. North Boone threatened to blitz. Now they back off. And Davis looks to throw. He fires. It's intended for Bennett Sirens. It's incomplete. Down around the 5-yard line.
Yeah, the sure-handed Bennett Sirens couldn't quite come up with that ball. Looked like the ball was thrown a little low, but Bennett probably should have be the first one to tell you. Probably should have had that one. Now the Tigers in a 3rd down and 10 situation. Interesting to see what they go from here.
Yeah, maybe run-pass option for Teagan. We'll see. 3rd and 10 at the 25-yard line of the Vikings. And Davis is going to call his own number. And he is going to get the 1st down. And he is going to get the touchdown from 25 yards out. Teagan Davis with 8:28 to go in the 3rd period.
As you're going to get ready to see the replay, sponsored here by Becks, as Teagan calls his own number, fakes it to Augie, comes up the middle, and a nice job by the receivers over there as Bennett Sirens. I couldn't make out the other number, but the other wide receiver of the Tigers doing a nice job blocking downfield to spring Teagan loose for a 25-yard touchdown run.
And once again, it appears the Tigers are going to go for the 2-point conversion. 25-7 is the Tiger lead with 8:28 to go, 3rd period. Man in motion. And the man in motion is going to get the handoff. Can he turn the corner? Yes, he can. That's Ian Compton with the successful 2-point conversion run. Tiger lead is 27-7.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Ian Compton there, coming off of the jet sweep there, just making his run to the pylon, picking up that critical 2-point conversion. As you see on the replay again, Teagan's touchdown. Just enough hands on top of him, on those defenders of the Vikings to spring Teagan loose. So, great job. Couple of scores here, Norm. It's 47-0. I see over Monmouth Roseville, not even halftime yet. 27-14, Moline over Hampshire. And then Forreston 16, Galena 14. So Galena making a game of it.
I'm sure at some point you've probably been in Forreston, haven't you?
Yeah, I believe I have.
They are the Cardinals, and all their street signs have Cardinals on them. So they love their football in Forreston, Illinois. No question about that. As Bennett Williams set to kick off. And the Tigers up relatively comfortably here in the third period, leading by 20 points, 27-7. Bouncing kick, and it's fielded by Jack Christensen of North Boone. And the Vikings are going to have some good field position here.
Keegan Fogarty there with the tackle for the Tigers.
Ball being marked at the 44-yard line of North Boone.
So know that the Vikings are down by 20. They're going to try to make quick play strikes, so they're going to try to go something long. Be aware of that.
Chandler Alderman back to throw, fires, and this one is caught. That is Chris Dutch with the catch. Schmitty, I know you mentioned it at halftime, but what was Alderman in the first half throwing the ball?
I had him 13 for 24 for 150 yards.
Wow. So obviously on track for a 300-yard night, but the biggest stat, Tigers lead 27-7, but he is an outstanding quarterback, no question. 8 minutes to go, third period. Tiger lead is 20 as the lefty Alderman fires away, and he has another completion. Pick up about 5 yards on the play.
Raby there with the catch. But the Tigers, again, they're just going to allow them to catch everything in front of them. Nothing gets behind. You got a cushion of a lead. You're up by 3 scores. So...
Adrian Raby, 6-footer, 175, and a junior. Three wide receivers to the near side of the field. And now Alderman's under heavy pressure, and he has no chance whatsoever. He is sacked.
Here's a replay there by Midland Bank as you see a host of Tigers swarming in on that quarterback keeper. You could not make out who was on the bottom of that pile, though. It's hard to make out. The jerseys are getting dirtier, and it's harder to make out numbers. And I apologize, guys, but it's got to be Payne Miller or Vicarious there with that tackle, I imagine.
3rd down and 7. Alderman throws long. He's going for his favorite target, Will Dutch, and the penalty flags come in. It's not like in the pros where that's where they'll get the ball, but it will be a penalty almost assuredly against Princeton.
Bennett had great coverage there. He just got to turn and look for the ball. I mean, that ball goes up. You got every right to that ball, too. You just got to turn and look for it. Bennett didn't there, and then he picked up the pass interference call. But I thought he had great coverage right there, stride for stride.
So it will bring about, let's see, 1st and 10 at the 20 of Princeton for the Vikings. It's a big drive for North Boone.
They have to convert here, Norm, no doubt.
Alderman back to throw. He's under heavy pressure, and he is going to be sacked. And this time, no doubt about who got that sack.
Drew Harp there. Bennett Williams was there as well, but Drew Harp got to him early as Alderman kind of stumbled over himself, and Harp making a big play right there as the Tigers needed it for a 9-yard loss to bring it down 2nd down and 19.
Drew Harp, of course, a stalwart all year long. 2nd and 19. Alderman looks to throw. He fires, and a pass is intercepted by the Tigers. That is Bennett Sirens. A flag comes in. I would have to speculate, though, that possession will still belong to Princeton.
Yeah, it is. They're going to call a legal block to the back, but he barely touched him. I'm not trying to get on the officials there because I think they do a great job.
I do, too.
But that's a flag you need to keep in your pocket, please. Okay, maybe not. Teagan did get him. He saw it on the replay. That's my fault. Nice job by Mr. Morton there showing the replay. Teagan did block him in the back. So that's why we have replays. Sometimes you don't see it the first time. I didn't see it. I was corrected. Nice job by the officials. That's why they're doing what they're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. But I'm telling you, on the basketball floor, it's not a foul.
You know who the nature boy Ric Flair is, don't you, Schmitty?
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, Gordon Soley brought up to him about the outstanding job done by Nick Patrick and Scrappy McGowan. And Flair goes, well, Gordon, as a wrestler who never breaks the rules, there's nobody that appreciates the referees more than me. And now the Tigers have Matt Lucas on the run, and he's got big yardage. In fact, he may go out of the way. He will indeed. 77 yards. Matt Lucas with 5:26 to go into third period, and Princeton's lead is now 33-7.
That right there was all Matt Lucas with a couple of blocks from the outside. But I tell you what, that jet sweep, he ran it perfectly. As you can see it here on the instant replay by Redi Crete, as he gets to the sidelines there, and that's what you're supposed to do on that jet sweep and cut it up. And that's what he did. He is so fast, and nobody's going to catch him. Great execution by the Tigers right there for that 77-yard run by Matt Lucas.
Yeah, it just it started out, and you thought, well, this play is okay, but the more went on, the better it got for Princeton. Tigers going to go for the two-point conversion. And now a timeout is taken by Princeton.
I don't think we had enough people in the field. Maybe 10. Again, that replay come up here to you by Central Bank. Again, a sweep there. It was a block just to get in front of him by Ian Compton. Another nice block there by Cy Hockey. And it was Lucas off to the races from there on out. I didn't see that key block at first by Cy Hockey, but a nice job by that young man just bringing Lucas loose for a little bit more because he could have been driven out of bounds. But Cy Hockey gets in the way of him and makes that 77-yard touchdown run happen. So usually when there's big runs like that, Norm, there's usually some key blocks right
Absolutely.
there. And that was a key block by the wide receiver at that point.
Boy, that's a memory Matt Lucas will have for a long, long time. That's just outstanding.
Down in Abington, Weathersfield trailing Avon 7-0.
Yeah, it used to be the Abington Commandos, but that's a combination. Abington Avon Tornadoes. Tegan Davis is just going to run it himself. He gets to the corner. The two-point conversion is good. And the Princeton lead is now 35-7.
So, the Tigers doing a nice job there. Nice job by Compton, Carson Etheridge, and I can't pick up the other guy. I think it was Augie Christensen leading the way there for the block for Tegan to hit that two-point conversion. But let's talk about the defense for the Tigers. After that first long drive, Tigers came back and scored, right? They had that big play by Wycarius. But after that, when North Boone Vikings came and tied it back up at 7-7, they've rattled off, 20 I can't even do the math right now. I'm so hyped up. 28 unanswered points by the Tigers because their defense is playing so well. I mean, it's a bend but not break defense, but they're coming up with some big plays at the right time. Drew Harp there with the big sack to put them back in a second down and long position, and Bennett Searns there with the interception. So a couple of big plays by a couple of big Tigers on the defensive end, and that's why we got the score 35-7.
And, that sack by Drew Harp, the Vikings had a nice drive going, but that definitely thwarted that effort as Bennett Williams set to kick off. 5:26 to go, third period. 28-point lead for the Tigers. Deep kick by Bennett Williams, but we have a stoppage in play. Penalty flag is thrown. And the Tigers will have to try it again, but this time from 5 yards further back.
Special shout out to our sponsors for tonight's game, Central Bank, Becks, Redi, Crete, Michlig Energy, and Midland Bank, and the Princeton Public School Foundation.
These sponsors, Schmitty, as our good friend Charlie Walker would say, if you're in these places of business, tell them, one of the employees, tell them thank you for sponsoring the Tigers on Tiger Central Live. Deep kick by Williams once again. Even moving that ball back 5 yards made no difference whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. Bennett had the wind to his back, used that wind to his advantage. He's got a big leg as it is. Kicks it out of the end zone. Brings it up to 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
So the Vikings with it. 1st and 10 at their 20. Alderman, the lefty quarterback, who's had a nice night. Back to throw, and it is complete to Will Dutch. Be very close to a first down. They do give him the first down out to about the 31-yard line.
And you see the nice end zone stripes that the Tigers have been scoring on, and that's a shout-out to Coach Ryan Pearson's dad, Tom Pearson, for painting those stripes. As he always paints the stripes for special games, and playoff football doesn't get any more special than that. So we appreciate him very much, and Steve Gray as well. So nice job by those. Steve Gray everywhere. He helps us out here, helps with the end zones. I mean, he's kind of like the water boy. He does everything.
And battling the elements. Now it is Alderman on the carry, and little or no gain on that one.
Yeah, Wicarius and Cy Hockey there with the tackle. Again, we've been calling those guys' names out a lot. It's, we've said it before, big-time players show up at big-time moments, and the guys we've been calling out over and over is the same kids that we've been calling out, all throughout the year that's been stepping in and playing big-time minutes for the Tigers. So, and they really responded to the task tonight.
2nd down and 10 from the 31 as we have 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third period. Princeton's lead is 28, 35-7 over the Vikings. Alderman back to throw. He fires over the middle, and the pass is incomplete.
Etheridge there in the coverage, as well as Noah Laporte coming over top on the safety end of it. Laporte having himself a game, I think as a freshman playing in your first ever playoffs and getting a spot start like that, he's came up big.
He's been outstanding.
Done a nice job.
He has. So 3rd and 10 at the 31 for the Vikings. Tigers bring the blitz. Alderman lets it go, and the pass is incomplete. I was a little worried that we might have an interference call, but nothing happening there, and it'll bring up 4th and 10.
Yeah, good job by Compton. The only thing I'd like him to do a little bit better is just turn his head when the ball gets there, so he doesn't get that pass interference called.
Well, not only does North Boone have to punt, but they're going to have to punt into a strong north breeze. It's a good snap, and the kick is away. And you can see that wind just knock it down. This punt is only going to net a little more than 10 yards, and the Tigers will take over 1st and 10 at their 41.
At that point, Norm, probably should just go for it, right? Hey, big news here as we talk about the teams in our conference. But it was a pick 6 by the St. B. Bruins. They're up 16-6 all of a sudden. So a big-time pick 6. I don't know who made it, but pick 6 going the other way. 16-6 Bruins over Chicago Hope.
All right. Well, we wish them well. It's always nice for our local teams to move forward in the playoffs. Of course, that's not a final, but things going well for the Bruins at this point. There was a penalty flag, and let's see. Yep, it's going to go against the Vikings.
They had too many guys out in the field, Norm. As you saw, number 24 just jogging off the side. I think they tried to stop Augie with 12 guys and not 11 this time.
At any rate, it'll bring up 1st and 5 at the 36 for the Tigers, and Tegan Davis to throw, and the pass is complete to Bennett Sirens. It'll be close to a first down. In fact, the referee indicates it is a first down as the ball be marked near the 30-yard line.
So that'll be Sirens' first catch of the game, and brings up a 1st down and 10 for the Tigers.
Tigers in no hurry here, perfectly content to burn up that play clock, as well they should be. Davis back to throw. He rolls to his right, fires towards the end zone, and this one is tipped and falls incomplete.
Looked like the tenor receiver could have been Matt Lucas, could have been Bennett Sirens, but I think it was to Lucas. Like to see Tegan tuck that and run that right there. Not really truly open. Don't need to force it there. Take what the defense gives you, as you see them do so often, and run that ball.
2nd and 10 at the Viking 30, and they bring in a new football, which is perfectly understandable on this wet night.
Have a former alumni from the Princeton Tigers, Paul Seletsky, at home watching the game. Wanted me to give him a shout out. So, Paul, thank you for watching, and we appreciate your support.
Thank you, Paul. And now a penalty flag comes in. This is going to go against the Vikings.
Looked like maybe the tackle or the nose guard lining up off sides. So right now, the Vikings shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak.
2nd and 5 from the 25, and this is Augie Christensen. He's got a first down and a whole lot more, down to about the 15 of the Vikings. Referee's timeout here. Carson Etheridge is hobbling off the field with some assistance.
14th first down for the by rush for the Princeton Tigers. We hope Carson's okay. He's a big key part to this offense and defense. Abingdon's up over Weathersfield 14-0.
Well, they're a strong team. I don't know what their record is now, but I know that at one point they were 7-0. So
we appreciate all the scores keep coming in.
Absolutely. So it's Augie with the carry. This time he's going to be hit for a loss. Jaden Robinson in on that tackle. Again, Robinson 6'2", 265, and a senior.
I got 20 carries roughly for Augie Christensen for 115 yards. Again, those are unofficial stats, but I got guys up here that keep stats longer than I have. They probably know what they're doing. I don't.
You do a great job, but so do they.
Hey, no trivia tonight, Norm? What's going on with you?
All right, well, we'll have to let it rattle around here in the cage. I'll come up with something.
Oh, perfect. Timeout, Princeton. Coach Pearson must have not have liked what he saw lined up there by the Tigers, trying to get a play called in. Up 35-7, 2:03 to go in the third quarter. Shout out to our sponsors again, the Princeton Public School Foundation, Becks, Redi Crete, Central Bank, Michlig Energy, and Midland Bank. We appreciate you guys helping us out and bringing this to you live streaming, as well as Steve Morton, our executive producer, Brody Anderson, and Steve Gray. Couldn't do it without him, you know. And
Best
of course,
in the
we couldn't
business.
definitely do it without you, Norm, the best play-by-play guy in the country.
You're being quite generous indeed, but it's an honor to work with you as well as the Tigers attack this 2nd and 13 situation. It's going to be Tegan Davis on the run, and he picks up about 3 yards. Bring up 3rd and 10.
I have Tegan over the century mark, too, as he's got 103 yards on the ground.
Well, our trivia question, probably easy for you, but what were the Chicago Bears called before they were called the Chicago Bears? That's going back a ways. Kevin Hieronymus is in the booth. He's got a thumbs up. He knows. All right, Schmitty, what's the answer?
I don't know.
The Decatur Staleys.
I was going to say Staley because Staley the Bear, but I didn't think that would be right.
Augie Christensen on the carry. Short gain. It's going to bring up 4th down and 9 as the clock will dip under 1 minute to go in the third period. Fourth and 8 from the Viking 13. Davis going to call his own number, and he is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. That, once again, is Jaden Robinson.
I'm telling you what, he is having a whale of a game. Robinson is the one guy that's making or creating havoc there in the backfield all the time for the Vikings. Just doing a nice job, and hats off to him. He's continued to play hard, even though they're down 35-7. There's a lot of fight in that kid, so hats off to that kid right there.
He is a senior.
He's got 7 solo tackles, according to Roby up here, the greatest statistician of the world.
I would think that Mr. Robinson's going to be playing on Saturdays in college football next year as the Vikings keep it on the ground, and actually this play is going to go for a loss.
Yeah, Davis there to snuff out that, and Payne Miller, along with the number 60, I believe, Ian Morris.
And that should bring about the end of the third period with the Tigers leading over North Boone 35-7.
Got some more scores. Looks like Ottawa Marquette in front of Princeville, 26-0. Byron up 51-0 at halftime. Morris up 28-0. Forreston up 22-14. I got scores rolling in like crazy.
Yeah, so Morris, of course, beating LaSalle Peru.
Shout out to Coach Daniel Murray, who's watching us from Decatur.
You know that Brian Snitker, the manager of the Braves, He is from Decatur.
Shout out to Cammie Hieronymus for watching the game. We appreciate that. Keeping an eye on your husband. He's doing a fine job. He's been here the whole time.
2nd and 15 for the Vikings. Alderman back to throw. He's under heavy pressure. Going to get sacked. And is it a safety? We're waiting for the call. Apparently, they're going to give him forward progress at about the 1 foot line.
Here's another look here by the instant replay of by Becks as Vicarious there. No, it was Saihaki came out of nowhere. He's a dangerous man. He blitzed on the weak side, and Alderman didn't have a clue what was coming.
You ever have that breakfast pizza from Becks? Oh my goodness, is it good. I know Tiffany's a big fan of that. 3rd down and 24.
Here's a little fun fact for you, Norm. Want to hear a little fun fact?
Sure.
So Tegan Davis's dad, Spencer Davis, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs was?
Lena Winslow.
North Boone. It was North Boone.
When Tegan was when Drake was quarterback for Bureau Valley. That's what I was thinking of. And here's a pass that's intercepted, and it is going to be a touchdown. Tegan Davis from about 15 yards out. And the Tiger lead is now 41-7 with 10:58 to go.
I think they got a personal foul for maybe an illegal block that they probably shouldn't have got or had, but they were a little excited. And there comes another flag. I don't know what the 2 flags means, but it can't be good. But Tegan Davis nonetheless gets a, it might be a touchdown pending. Here's a look at it. Instant replay by Central Bank. Tegan gets the ball. Looks like it might be a 15-yarder. I don't know if it's going to be assessed. I don't know how they might have this on the kickoff. I don't know if it was after the touchdown run or before the touchdown run. But, hey, shout out to Mr. Rob Jensen for watching in Lynchburg, Virginia. We appreciate that.
Well, if the officials need any help, we have the Tiger student section. They'd be willing to give them some advice. Offsetting penalties. So let's see who's going to have possession of the ball here. Is it still going to be North Boone, or is it going to be Princeton?
I think it's after the catch, so I think it's still Tigers' ball. But I think the touchdown is null and void. Before they get this all sorted out, give another shout out to the Princeton Tigers cross country team who ended on a positive note. They run hard, they work hard on a daily basis, and we don't want to forget those kids. They work hard. I know some of the kids on the team, they come into basketball shape because of it. We appreciate that. But shout out to those guys for just working their tails off and doing what they do to represent our school so very well.
And this is Ian Compton on the sweep. Look at him stay on his feet. He's got a first down and more. Will Dutch in on the tackle.
As you see the replay here,
North Boone.
brought to you by Midland. as Ian just basically stops on the dime, turns back up and in, gets a whirly-dirly push by North Boone, and throws him out of bounds for a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, North Boone, the combination of the communities of Poplar Grove and Capron. Here's a running play by the Tigers. It's going to get some nice yardage as Augie Christensen on the carry picks up about 5. Gets the ball down to the 8-yard line. Tiger lead 35-7 with 10:24 to go in the game.
You probably pick your poison what you want to do here, Norm.
Davis back to throw, has lots of time. And he lets it go. He's got a man wide open, and that is Matt Lucas for the touchdown. At the exactly 10 minutes to go in the game.
I think it's holding against the Tigers here. I think against, I think they're going to call it for a holding on Jaden Robinson, the big number 77 for the Vikings, who's doing a great job again, causing havoc. I think he got a little piece of him, held him a little bit too long. But nonetheless.
So penalties have taken a couple of Tiger touchdowns off the board.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing that you want to clean up for next week, it's got to be the penalty aspect of things.
Yeah, it's one thing when you're ahead 35-7, but if this were a tight ball game, that could be very costly indeed. And you know, Schmitty, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, baseball, the further you go in the postseason trail, generally the tougher it gets. 2nd and 14 for the Tigers. And it's Augie Christensen on the carry. Augie picks up about 3.
Shout out all the way up to Wisconsin for listening to us. We appreciate you watching us and listening to us. Of course, Kay's Beer all night long. We appreciate that.
Is that Randy Allen?
Randy Allen, yep.
Great guy.
Dan Yeager, big Princeton supporter. We appreciate you watching it. A couple of former alumni and Brandon and Caleb Herring all the way out in Arizona. We appreciate you guys listening and tuning in to us.
A backwards pass to Augie Christensen, and he's able to net a short gain. It'll bring up 4th down and 9 from the 13-yard line of the Vikings.
IC up over Monmouth Roseville, 55-0.
Timeout taken by the Tigers.
So, Norm, it's been, since 7-7, it's been all Tigers, Like I said before, like to clean up the penalty aspect of it. But if there's, it's been a pretty flawless game for the Tigers for the most part outside those penalties. You clean them up, and you played a darn near perfect game. So, Coach Pearson's got to be happy with that. Not too pleased with the penalties, but got to be happy with the execution that they've done both on the offensive end of things and the defensive end. And
again, a big shout out to Steve Gray, and I think Brody's up there with them. They're up on the roof. There's not a roof above their head. They are out in the elements, and definitely appreciate the work they've done. And we've noted our sponsors. Again, none of us on Tiger Central Live, and we're not setting ourselves up as heroes or anything like that, but none of us get paid. That money that we take in, that goes to pay the IHSA fees that are required in the postseason. So thank you very much, and who knows, we might be calling you again, as it is 4th down and 8 from the 13. And a double handoff, now a pass, and it is caught. Is that Augie hauling that? I can't make it out. We'll just wait and see here.
Bennett Sears to Tegan Davis, it looked like.
24
Cy Hockey.
Danny Cy Hockey hauled it in.
It's the dirty 4 that gets you every time. Yeah, he was wide open. It's called the Tiger Special. when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was called the Philly Special. Now it's called the Tiger Special.
And that was Teagan that threw it?
No, it was Bennett Sirens to Danny Saihaki. Here's the replay right here. It is Lucas to Sirens to Saihaki for the touchdown. That replay brought to you by Redi Crete.
And some of you watching on your 55-inch TVs are probably like, why can't those guys see the number? Well, our monitor is about 4 inches big, but that's okay. We appreciate it. 41-7 is the Princeton lead, and look who's back. Stephen Benavidez. He's definitely a fan favorite. Kicks towards Central Street, and he has the misfortune of hitting the upright. It'll be no good, and the score will remain 41-7 Princeton.
Well, if you're a Bears fan, you've seen that a time or two.
Cody Parkey. He actually went on to get another job with Cleveland.
And to round out the athletics, shout out to the golf team as well. That's a hard game to play. Norm, you ever played golf?
Oh, yes, I agree. Very hard to play.
I know that Jaden Eggers went on to play out of the regional into the sectional, so that's great experience for him. Hopefully he can build on that for next year. And, the Tigers look like they're going to be strong in the golf category next year, so I can't wait to see how those guys come out and play.
Did you ever see the episode of The Honeymooners when Ralph had to learn how to play golf to make good with his boss? The boss goes, "Where do you play, Cramden?" He goes, "Around. All around."
Oh, shoot.
Well, once again, the Tigers are going to have to kick from their 25, so apparently another unsportsmanlike. So like you say, they have got to clean up the penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's interesting to see doing this whole live thing, how many states are actually watching us. Like, we got a shout-out from state of Iowa. Obviously, it's close by, but still, you got Iowa, Arizona, Virginia. It's pretty cool to see. We appreciate everybody watching.
That's Chris Dutch on the return, and he'll get it to midfield.
Yeah, if you guys want to know why we can't make out the numbers, it's because we're way up here. We're old. I mean, Norm's got glasses. I don't. But we try our best to kind of see what's going on out there and give you the right numbers and information. But sometimes it just doesn't happen like we want it to.
I want to refute that old thing. I was born at a very early age. 1st and 10 at the 50 for the Vikings.
He'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
And it is a completion as, once again, Chandler Alderman throwing the ball effectively.
Shout out to Grady Thompson as he gets ready to play in one of his last basketball camps in Milwaukee tomorrow. So he's in Wisconsin watching us. Good luck tomorrow, bud. Hope you have a good showing.
I'm going to be interested to know how many views we had tonight. I know we had a game late in the year. We were around 1,800 views, and that's credit to the fans for getting the word out. Now Alderman to throw once again. He's going for his favorite receiver, Will Dutch, and it's intercepted. That is Bennett Sirens, and I don't see any flags this time, Schmitty.
No, Sirens in for 65-yard touchdown reception, or interception, I should say. And he's not getting much. He's not getting much action as he's only got one catch, but he's got 2 picks and coming up big on the defensive end of things.
And 47-7, that's the 40-point difference, and I'm assuming the mercy rule still counts in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So Stephen Benavidez back on for the PAT. I still have total confidence in this young man.
Oh, absolutely. I got more confidence in him than I do Cody Parkey, for crying out loud.
Penalty flag. And it's going to prove to be fortuitous, as the kick that Benavidez launched was off the mark, but it doesn't matter. Play was stopped before then.
Moline up over Hampshire, 41-21. Shout out to people watching us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Went to watch a Pirates Cubs game a couple years back. Took the boys out. Went to Pittsburgh, then came back to Sandusky, Ohio, to that roller coaster park, and it was fun.
It's not Mike Tomlin that's watching, is it? Yeah, it's a beautiful stadium, isn't it, Schmidt?
It
there
is.
In Pittsburgh. I've never been there, but just from the looks. And now Benavidez slips, and the PAT is no good. But again, on this wet surface, very understandable how that could happen.
I think he's the only one having a bad night, and he'll land back on his feet next week, as he totally just had his feet go out from underneath of him, slipped, tried to plant his foot. When he tried to plant his foot, just slipped, and nonetheless, it's 47-7. Tigers up big with 7:48 and counting in this contest.
And, North Boone, obviously, they have a great passing attack, but throw in, certainly a fine defense by Princeton, but also the bad weather conditions. There is a school, though, Schmidt, in high school football here in Illinois, Rochester. They throw the ball a lot, and even if the weather's terrible, it doesn't seem to stop them.
Is Coach Leonard still coaching Rochester? He was.
As far as I know, and wow.
He's a great coach. I listened to that guy speak when I was coaching football about, 10 years ago. And, man, the wealth of knowledge that guy has. I believe his dad was coaching at Sacred Heart Griffith at the time. I don't know if he still does or not, but it was just it's just fun listening to him because he's so passionate about the game of football. And he does that hurry-up offense like you used to see Oregon do back under Chip Kelly's days, where it was just an up-tempo offense and kept, it's a rhythm to it. And he was talking about that. It was just fun. Fun to listen to him.
This time a short kick, and the Vikings, with the return, that was Julian Rodriguez getting it to the 45-yard line.
Listen to this halftime score. Springfield up over Rock Island, 42-35. The guy who tweeted out said, felt like he played an entire game was just played, but nope, they're just at half.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Hey, shout out to Michael Toller, class of 1988, watching from St. Louis, Missouri. Now, I normally don't like to talk about St. Louis because they are the home of the Cardinals, but I'll give them the shout out just because.
Will Dutch on the carry, tries to turn the corner. He's able to do so. He's ushered out of bounds after a gain of about 6 as the clock will continue to run, even though he went out of bounds. We have the mercy rule in effect. Tigers up by 40, 47-7 or over North Boone.
And I was corrected. Both Coach Leonards do coach still. From Coach Foes just chimed in. So
all right,
we appreciate you watching, Coach Foes, and appreciate all that you do for these kids there at Princeton High School.
He knows what it is to be up on the roof of the press box and
absolutely
being in inclement weather.
St. Bede and a nail biter up 16-13 in the fourth quarter. 9:15 to go in the fourth quarter. St. Bede's up 16-13.
Now Alderman fires away just out of the reach of Will Dutch.
Ace Christensen there with the coverage. Got Brady Byers out there. Like I mentioned before, Kate Odell is out there as well. Number 14, Evan Driscoll out there. So Tigers putting in some of their backups there, giving their starters a break, getting them prepared for week 2 of the IHSA playoffs.
And that will be determined as far as Princeton's opponent, Chicago King and Fairbury Prairie Central, playing at Fairbury tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, if Prairie Central wins, it'll be right back here at Bryant Field, I believe. But if Chicago wins, it'll be all the way up in Chicago.
All right, well, let's hope that Fairbury wins just for that reason alone. We want another home game. Completed pass is good for a first down. That is Adrian Raby with the reception down to about the 42-yard line of Princeton.
Augie Christensen there with the tackle. The Portmans are watching from St. Charles, Missouri. So Barry and Sherry, we appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah, that pretty much the St. Louis area. So very, very good. First and 10 from the 43. We've got a different quarterback in there. Boy, he's got a good arm. His pass is complete to Chris Dutch, who gets inside the 20-yard line. That's Jack Christensen who threw that pass. I see Chandler Alderman on the sideline. He appears to be okay. He is a junior. He'll be back next year.
Probably just giving, the backups a little.
Sure.
As you see, number 5, Will Dutch, coming off the field.
Well, I'm glad that Alderman is okay. You don't wish for anybody to get hurt. So, again, Jack Christensen in at quarterback for North Boone. Christensen, under heavy pressure, is going to decide to run. And a nice effort by him as he is knocked out of bounds around the 12-yard line.
The Hubs of Rochelle moving on in the week 2 of the playoffs. So they beat Chicago Peyton 36-3.
You never know with those Chicago teams, that's part of the playoff picture, how the different conferences stack up against each other. I'm interested in that game with Newman and Mercer County tomorrow to see how that shakes out.
Again, thank you to Steve Morton, Steve Gray, and Brody Anderson bringing this feed to you live at home, as long as with the host of sponsors that we have in tonight's game.
Just 2:48 to go in the game. And Christensen calls his own number, and he fumbles. He manages to get it back around the 1-yard line. Bring up first and goal at the 1 for North Boone.
Hampshire tried to make a game of it as they pull within 41-28 against Moline.
I was talking to some fans from Poplar Grove, and I mentioned Paul Nolden, who used to be the minister of the Malden Methodist Church. He later served at Poplar Grove, and they said, yeah, we know him well. We used to go to his church, so nice to see those folks. First and goal from the 1, Christensen straight ahead on the quarterback keeper. It is a touchdown, and it'll make it 47-13 in favor of Princeton with 1:58 to go in the game.
Shout out those coming in from Tennessee watching us play. Or watching us on live stream. Not watching us play, watching the boys play on the field.
We got a city
I'm
in
not
Tennessee, Schmitty, or just Tennessee?
No city in Tennessee.
PAT attempt is good. Kicking that one through is Dumar Burnell with the kick. That's his second of the night. He is 2 for 2. And the Tiger lead is 47-14 over North Boone.
Fellow colleague of mine, Earl Town, watching from the hospital. Is he? He's at the hospital with his kids, so we hope everything's all right and on the up and up. And we appreciate you watching, buddy.
It's one of the things I mentioned last week on Tiger Central Live. We periodically hear from people whose health doesn't allow them to come to the games, and certainly glad that we can bring some diversion and hopefully some enjoyment for those folks.
Joliet Catholic going into the second round of the playoffs as they beat Marengo 48-0. no surprise there.
Yeah, if you see Joliet Catholics on the other side of the marquee, good chance you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. Tina Reinhardt, a big supporter of Tiger Athletics. She must be an Abingdon girl, as she says, way to go Tornadoes and Tigers. Thank you, guys, for the awesome coverage. Well, we appreciate you watching us.
If they had a vote for nicest person, it wouldn't surprise me if she would win. What a nice person.
No, I heard her husband just on the as he's down the way there say the same exact thing, Norm. Same exact thing.
Awesome. That's Ace Christensen on the return.
Yeah, nice job by Ace. Looks like it's 23-13 St. Bede.
So
Has extended that lead a little bit.
Yeah, a little breathing room. That game has been back and forth and tight all night long, but it looks good for the Bruins. Again, we saw the Quad City television cameras here earlier tonight, so Tigers should make the Quad City sports reports with some film.
Looks like it's going to be victory formation.
Teagan takes the snap.
The Titans, the Monmouth Roseville, did end up scoring as they're down 55-8. So,
well, really, congratulations. Yep. I mean, that's no
that's
small accomplishment.
That is a win by itself, I agree.
One more time, and that'll do it. Teagan takes a knee, and you know what? They can line up and shake hands. Schmitty, you got any final thoughts here?
You know, I think it was the rushing attack of the Tigers, the defense of 3 interceptions, some big plays by their defense. You know, a couple of guys over 100 yards rushing, as in Teagan Davis and Augie Christensen. Lucas with a nice 77-yard run. That offensive line, the line play both ways, defensively and offensively, you know, did a great job tonight. And I thought that's where it was won tonight in the line play. And hats off to the Tigers for advancing and surviving with a 47-14 win, going on to round 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah, and as Schmitty talked about, obviously if King wins in the games in Chicago, we won't have it. There are a lot of hoops to jump through to be able to broadcast these games. So hopefully this isn't our last time to talk with you. And hopefully we will be with you next week with more playoff action. I'm just going to stay positive. Obviously, if we don't get to, it's been a pleasure. But we're going to stay positive as the Tigers win this one. And I know Steve has still got the video going, but I think as far as for Schmitty and I, that is going to wrap it up as the Tigers win 47-14 over North Boone. Thank you, Roby. Great job, Schmitty. It is kind of a sobering thought, like, Arizona, Tennessee.